How's it going today, everyone? Please forgive me, my throat's killing me. I did manage to get a new phone, thank God. But something just happened a little while ago that really upset me, and I wanted to share it with y'all. Um, Today's my son's birthday. He makes 23. His name's Sebastian, and he doesn't have a car. He works. He doesn't have a car, so he uses Uber and DoorDash a lot. So they're always coming to pick him up and drop him off. And my mother-in-law orders food and stuff too. She has stuff DoorDashed here. Um, anyway, something happened that really upset me, and I don't think I can get it all in 60 seconds. Um, I happened to leave to go get some candles from my son's cake. And when I pulled up, I got out the car and I heard somebody screaming, "Hey, hey." So I turned and looked, and it was my neighbor directly across the street from me. He's been there for about 4 years. And he had some signs up before. I don't know if he was running for councilman or something for the parish or something like that, or if he's a police officer. I don't know. Really didn't care. I live and let live. You know what I'm saying? And anyways, he approached me and he said, "Hey," and I walked out to the street and he was walking towards me, and you can see off the bat that he looked irritated. But he approached me and he's like, "Look, man, I wanted to." He approached me and he said, "Look, I've never actually introduced myself to you." And I wanted to say, "I know you haven't," because I've tried to introduce myself to him before and he gave me the cold shoulder. Because he talks to my other neighbor across the street. And I've been here for 17 years. He's been here for 4. My other neighbor's been here for like 16, 17 years. I don't know how long exactly, but a long time. Anyways, I walk out to the street to meet him, and he walks up to me and he goes, "I know I never actually introduced myself to you before. Um, but I wanted to let you know that I'm your neighbor, and I don't, to be honest, I don't even remember his name at this point." He introduced himself and he says, "Look, man, I'm kind of upset because somebody came over here and some guy came from your house and he almost pulled in my yard. He could have used my driveway and he didn't, but he almost pulled in my yard, and he just took off out of here like a bat out of hell." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, but as you can see, I just pulled up at home." That was my response. And I can be loud. I'm a loud person, and my throat hurts right now. So it looked like he seemed like I was being angry or mean with him. And I told him, I wanted to let him know from jump right there. I said, "Look, I'm sorry if I'm coming off, a little strong, but that's not my intention. I'm just a loud person. He's like, "Okay, I understand that." And I figured the same thing about him. So, anyways, he was telling me that this guy did that, and I said, "Well, look, I wasn't home. You can see I wasn't home. I just pulled up. Today's my son's birthday. I just went to get some candles. I'll go inside and find out what happened. If that's the case, I will take care of it. I'm sorry if that happened. Even though nobody pulled in his driveway, I kind of feel like he was picking with me. You know what I'm saying?" So I let it go. I didn't say nothing. And then I came home and I walked over here and I walked inside and then I told my wife what happened. And I asked my son, I said, "Look, son, did anybody just leave here?" And he said it was a black guy. Okay? I don't know why he said that, but he said it was a black guy. So I'm like, "Son, did you just have anybody here, anything like that?" He's like, "No. So I went next to my mother-in-law. She's sick, and I take care of her. She said she had some food delivered. So it was a DoorDash guy. So he was upset and came to me like that because a DoorDash guy almost went in his yard. And I'm leaving stuff out. I'm horrible with that. I got to get the story better. Anyways, I came home, and then as I got out the car to walk in, I could hear somebody screaming, "Hey, hey." So I turned and looked, and it was my neighbor from directly across the street. So I walked out there to meet him, and I got to the street, and he came up to me and he said, "Look, I know I've never introduced myself to you before, but I wanted to talk to you because some black guy just came from your house, and he turned and he almost went in my yard, and he could have used my driveway. I ain't got a problem with that, but he almost drove all up in my yard, and he left here driving like a bat out of hell. And I told him, as you can see, sir, I just got home. I just pulled up, dude. I didn't even walk in yet. I was picking up candles for my son's cake for his birthday. Today's my oldest son's birthday. He made 24 today. And anyways, I told him that, and he's like, "Oh, okay," because I just, I didn't want him to go in my yard, and look, I ain't got no problem with you, okay? He's like, I don't know what goes on over there, and I'm thinking in my head, for one, the guy didn't even go in his yard, and I didn't know what was going on, so I didn't want to cause beef with him neither, I was trying to be respectable. And then he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm thinking, no. Am I supposed to know who you are? That's what I'm thinking. I didn't say that. And I said, "No, sir, I don't." Why? And the whole time, I'm being respectful. He's like, "Well, I know you see the police over here all the time, And so I wanted to let you know that." I'm like thinking, what's that got to do with anything? At that point, I know he's picking with me. I was kind of upset. So I said, "Look, I'm sorry, but you have to now look at it from my point of view. I've listened to you out. I've heard you out, You've come over here and you tell me some guy's leaving my house." I said, "I'm going to go in and see what happened. But for all you know, that was a delivery guy." I told him right then and there. I said, "My son works all the time and he uses Uber all the time to drive home. And my mother-in-law and I get stuff delivered. So it could have been a delivery guy. I don't know. It wasn't me or my kids. I know that." I was still respectful, and I went in. I went inside, and my son was in there because we was about to do his birthday cake. And I said, "Hey, son, did you have anybody leave here?" He said, "No, sir. Why?" and I was like, "Okay, no problem." I asked my wife, had anybody leave here? I went to my mother-in-law. My mom was like, "Yeah, I had some food delivered." So I'm like, "Okay." So now I'm steamed because it was a delivery guy, okay? Because I know I didn't cook dinner tonight. And it was a delivery guy. And I'm thinking, this dude got all up bent out of shape like that. And then he made it a point to come tell me to ask me if I knew who he was. Like, I'm supposed to know who this guy is. Really, I knew who he was. Not like really. Like, I knew he ran. I seen signs. And I figured he might have been affiliated with the police department. But I didn't care. I look out for my neighbors. I feel like I have a neighbor that lives right next to him that's been there just as long as me. And I feel I look out for him, he looks out for me. Just as simple. Something happens on my property, I want to know. And then my wife's like, "Well, a while back ago he came and approached me and he asked me if I had his lawnmower." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, he came and told me and asked me if I had his lawnmower because he said somebody stole his lawnmower. And he had cameras everywhere and he wanted her to know that." And I told her, I'm like, "Baby, why didn't you tell me that before?" She's like, "I didn't think it was a big deal." I said, "It really wasn't a big deal, but still, what I'm thinking? If he had cameras, then why was he out there asking her anyways? So now I feel obligated to make a video about this just to cover my ass. Is that wrong or what? Because now I think he's related with the police. And what if I do go confront him? There's a little more to the story, though. I was irritated at that point. So I decided to go walk outside and sit on my porch. Just sit there. I got out there, and before I even got to sit down, I seen behind his gate that he was pacing back and forth because his light was on back there. And then before I even got to sit down, he opened his gate and came out. So I walked out to the street. So he walked out to the street. Now at this point I had to think as I was walking to the street, I know before he never made at any point to try to step into my yard. So I wasn't going to do the same to him. And I don't want issues with my neighbor. It shouldn't be like that. Anyways, I wanted to let him know that it was a DoorDash guy. And I apologize and that I took care of the situation and I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. So we get to the street. This time I walk into the street and I stop right before his property. And I said, look, man, I talked to my son and my wife and everybody because it's his birthday. And I had just got back, as you seen before. And my mother-in-law had some food delivered. What he doesn't know is my mother-in-law is an emblem. I take care of her. Okay? She had some food delivered. And it was a DoorDash guy that left your house. I did find out the DoorDash guy's name and leave a comment about it too. That's all I could really do, you know. Anyways, he's like, oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know. But that ain't it neither. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, yeah, I know it. His dude's got something against me, bruh. He's like, well, now again, he said, I couldn't believe this neither. He's like, just the other day, right here in front of my house, they had a black guy and a white guy parked out in a red car. And I'm thinking, okay, this is bullshit. Okay? And I'm thinking in front of your house. Okay? So, meanwhile, I am still thinking, maybe my son had one of his friends over that dropped him off. Because he's got black friends. Okay? And maybe they were sitting out in the car talking. Anyways, he goes, well, again, I don't know what goes on at your house. At that moment, I wanted to jump down his fucking throat and say, no, you don't know what goes on at my fucking house. And he's like, well, I just wanted to let you know, bro. And I'm like, let me know what, sir? I said, was they doing something wrong? I said, for all you know, I don't even know who that was. They was in front of your house. I said, they could have been lost. They could have stopped to do a text message because they didn't want to text and drive. You have no idea. And I'm thinking, that's a typical fucking cop for you, man. Forgive me, I hate to curse. And especially knowing I'm going to post this. I'm still trying to keep my calm because I don't want beef with him. Because I have bad luck. I do. I have the worst luck. And I'm trying to change my energy. And anyways, I could see he's got beef with me. He's like, well, I seen him out here. And I said, well, I told him, you don't know who that was. He's like, well, I'm telling you, I don't know what goes on at your house. And I said, you know what? Nothing goes on at my house. I take care of my family and we live and let live at my house. So, I addressed the issue you had. You have any more issues, please feel free to come let me know personally. Meanwhile, you have a nice day. And then I left. And I came home and I was so irately upset. I had to wait 30 minutes to even make this video. Okay? And my wife's taking a shower. And I'm going to make a short too. I'm going to try to make a short because I'm going to try to get like a little 60-second clip in there because this is way too long. There's contents to it. Anyways, I'm Richie. Y'all take care. You have a wonderful night. Live and let live. And God bless everybody. Take care. I'll fill y'all in on what happens. If y'all want, leave in the comments. I'll post pictures of my front yard and everything. That's another thing he said. Because he's like, I got cameras. I'm like, I got cameras too. Who don't have cameras today? Yeah, I'm screaming. Listen to me. And my throat's killing me. Anyways, y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all take care. I'm going to see where my kid's at. Yeah. It's 9 o'clock. You know where your kid's at? Y'all remember that? Y'all have a good night.